This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the Pennsylvania Builders Association, building today for a better tomorrow, and by the Pennsylvania Cyber Charter School, bringing educational innovation and freedom to the children of Pennsylvania.
Hi, welcome back to the program. Okay, Governor Rendell, here we are. His last term, very ambitious agenda. John, let me start with you. Republican legislature, more conservative, you know, certainly in the Senate, much more so in the House. Go through what the governor intends to do, and we can then talk about the prospects.
You know, it'd be a shame if he was less ambitious.
Pretty ambitious.
He laid out a pretty extensive menu the other day, as my friends here will tell you. He's talking about child health care, about expanding access to health care, all these structural and legislative reforms that he wants to do. It's not a second term that he's taking lying down.
Yeah.
You know, who knows, if we base it purely on past record, you know, the governor got 6 or 7 of the main things he wanted to get accomplished in one form or another. I don't know that he'll be as successful this second time out, but I'm not underestimating either.
Peter?
It's very ambitious. There's all kinds of things he's trying to do, like put ethanol in all gasoline, that will make Western Pennsylvania and Central Pennsylvania go crazy, as they did under Governor Bob Casey when he tried a similar mandate with MTBE years ago. There's just, all these things are dauntingly huge. I think he'll make some progress on health care, because health care, as he said himself and as Republican leaders say, is a huge issue. Everybody knows you have to do something. The question is, what will that look like? But on some of these other things, I think he's bit off a lot more than anybody can chew.
Actually, Pete brings up a good one on the alternative energy front. That's front and center in his, will be in his second term, has been pretty prominent in his first term. He wants Pennsylvania to be a leader, and what a legacy, you know, if he's able to leave the coal state.
I mean, the sin fuel, all the sin fuel.
With Pennsylvania as a leader in not only in alternative sources of power, but you know, reductions in emissions from power plants. I mean, if he can make any headway in that, and he has made.
All right, now none of you mentioned.
That's a good example, though, because on the coal to gas, he only got this far, and he's still waiting to open the first plant, with Rick Santorum working heroically in Washington and pushing the Bush administration, come on, we got to do coal to gas. Now he's lost Rick Santorum as his partner on the coal to gas plant in Schuylkill County. He wants to have 8 to 12 by the end of his term. We're still waiting for 1.
Yeah. All right, none of you mentioned, I thought you might mention, maybe we didn't think about it, the mass transit and highway fund problem. You know, they've been borrowing money from the highway fund, what, something like $400 million, John?
Yep.
Where does that all go?
That's the other huge, gigantic thing that's going to be looming out there. Governor Rendell, this month, we're in December here, he put out expressions of interest for privatizing some or all of the Turnpike's operations, or to sell it outright, in order to dodge the kind of or at least mitigate some of the massive tax increases that might be required to fund higher reconstruction and mass transit.
We don't have a lot of time left, but we want to take a moment here and say a few words about the former Governor Schaefer, who died within the past week or so. Amy, you wrote some of the stuff about him. What do you think? Governor Schaefer died. What is he most remembered for?
Well, he had a major impact on the way the government operates in Pennsylvania. He orchestrated a constitutional convention, the first in a century, in 1968, that resulted in, among other things, the unified judicial system, set up the 2-year cycle of the legislature, and allowed governors to run for two terms.
30 seconds. What about the taxes? He also got in trouble over taxes.
The father of the state income tax, the John the Baptist of the income tax in Pennsylvania.
All right, thanks for watching another edition of Pennsylvania Newsmakers. Happy holidays again, and everybody stay well.